Hello, Dr. Herjong and classmates. My name is Jewel Elliott, and for our budget assignment, I did the City of Waco. This assignment was fun, and I enjoyed doing it. Throughout the presentation, I'll discuss some key features of the budget, as well as how does it help or hinder meeting the criteria of the GFOA's Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. Just a little background about Waco. The population is 130,194, and this was an estimate from 2014. The city of Waco is approximately in the center of Texas. It's right in the middle between Austin and Dallas, and Baylor University is in Waco, Sick'em Bears. The mayor of Waco is Kyle Deaver, and the city manager is Dale Fissler. So the GFOA has created the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, and the purpose of that was to encourage and assist state and local governments to prepare a budget at the highest quality and then reward them for it. So as we did this assignment, we had to kind of look at the old criteria versus the new criteria. The old criteria asked for a policy document, a financial plan, operations guide, and a communications guide, versus the new criteria that wanted to have these 6 different categories: an introduction and overview, financial structure, policy and process, financial summaries, capital and debt, department information, and then a document-wide criteria. The City of Waco does meet the criteria of the Distinguished Budget Award. This is a screenshot of the award from last year. The City of Waco has also won this award 23 times. So this just shows that their budget is very successful and it is performing at the highest quality. A little bit about some budget details. As we all know, preparing a budget is not easy. A lot of people work hard on the budget, and as we all know from taking this course, a lot goes into putting together a budget. So the budget team consists of the mayor, the city council, the city managers, budget managers, and many more. For the format, the City of Waco uses the line item budgeting. I interviewed Laura Chioda, who I'll discuss a little bit later. She told me that they use line item because line item is very stable, and their budget is very stable, and they've been using it for many years. So if it works well for the city, why change something? So she just said it's been very successful throughout the years as they prepare their budget. I also included the property tax rate, effective tax rate, and the debt rate. So I'm going to go through the 6 criteria for the GFOAs, starting with the introduction and overview. For the first part, the City of Waco had a really detailed table of contents. I know that every document should have one, but it was very detailed. It had great headings and subheadings, so if you were to look for something, you can know exactly what page it was on. And it just helps the reader navigate throughout the document. So if someone wanted to look for a certain topic, they can do that. It also included goals, objectives, and values. To have those 3 things, it shows the readers why and how the budget is going to impact them and the city as a whole. So it's really good to include that so the readers can see what their vision is throughout the year. It also gave a profile of Waco, and this was just, a little bit of history of this, the city, how it is now, how many employees are working in the city, how many facilities they have, and so much more. And then it also included the budget message from the mayor, the city manager, and it was very detailed, and that's always a good thing to include into the budget. Like I said earlier, with the goals and objectives, the readers want to know why this budget is being made and how it's going to impact them. Moving on to financial structure, policy, and process. Okay, so first, the document describes what a fund is. If no one has taken this course or a budgeting course, they're not going to really know some of the words in the document. So the City of Waco kind of describes and gives a definition of what a fund is going to be. So the document breaks up the funds into governmental funds versus proprietary funds. And this was very detailed because under every fund, they kind of just broke up into many more funds. So under the proprietary fund, you have your enterprise fund and your internal service funds. And then under the enterprise funds, you have water funds, solid funds. So I just thought that the fund structure was very organized and very detailed. It just went, it's like an umbrella. And as I noticed throughout the entire budget, they're very detailed, and everything is just like an umbrella. They kind of describe something and just keep going more into detail. It also states the purpose of the financial policies. This will help ensure that the financial resources that are available are going to meet the present and future needs of the citizens. So, as an average reader can read this, they can know what the city is going to do as far as financial policies. And lastly, it has the budget process. So it has a calendar, and this calendar is also detailed. It has a date, who's responsible for each task, and then the calendar starts in January 20th and it ends in September or October when the budget is adopted as completed by the requirements of the GFOA. Moving on to financial summaries. So I'm going to show you, the next slide has the different graphs, and I'll get into that. But the graphs were very strong, and they displayed revenues and expenditures. And it also kind of gave you a summary, and it included the years before. So this is going to help show the readers that, where the money is coming from, what the money is going to be spent on, and just going into detail about the different revenues and the different expenditures. So I'll show you that real quick. So as you can see at the top left of the screen, it explains the different revenues. The number one revenue was from property taxes, and the second one was from the capital improvement programs. So having this shows, where most of the money is coming from. On the top left of the screen, we have, top right of the screen, we have the explanation of expenditures, and the most money is being spent on salaries and wages, followed by the capital improvement programs. So they have an explanation of every single revenue and every single expenditure. And as you can see at the bottom image, they have the general, I give you like a little screenshot of the general property tax. It kind of explains what it is. And as you can see underneath it, it has another graph that kind of shows you how much money that revenue has brought in throughout the years from 2008 till now. And as you can see, it's increasing. So if it's increasing, that's a really, really good sign that their city of Waco is doing something well to keep bringing in money. And this is for every single revenue and every single expenditure. And I think that is awesome because it's very detailed. It tells you every single revenue. It tells you an explanation of it, and it gives you a graph. So that's very awesome. So going back, how it hinders, it doesn't include the long range financial plans. And readers want to know, what do you see in the long run? So just having that would help with readers and just knowing what they have set for the future. Moving on to capital and debt. What helps the City of Waco meet the criteria is having every single capital improvement program listed. They have a description of the capital project. They have how much it's going to cost. They have how much is going to be funded and how it's going to have an impact on the budget. So the total funding for the CIP programs for this fiscal year was $91,383,803. That's a lot of money. And then for capital and debt, it also discusses the general obligation bond and the certificates of bond, and it also has like an ordinance of their tax rates. So the readers can see what the city owes and how they plan to pay that back. What hinders, I feel like they could include past CIPs. If they include past CIPs, this can show how successful the past capital improvement programs have been, how much it actually cost and how did it affect the city. So if you include that, we can see that, well, they did well in the past, and they'll do well now in the future. Moving on to department information. All right, so what helps is that every department is included. Every department has its own page dedicated to it. They have a mission statement, they have a narrative, they have accomplishments, priorities, and the number of employees that work for that department. It's really good to have an accomplishments to show the readers what they have accomplished last year. So it includes that, and then it has priorities for the year, this coming year. So what they plan to do with the money that they're given, how they want to improve their department, how they want to improve the city of Waco, and overall it's going to affect the citizens. So that's really good to include. Also, it shows how much is being spent, how much the department is spending throughout the year. Like I said, taxpayers want to see where their money is going and how it's going to affect them. What hinders this part would be the department heads are not included. I feel like if you're going to have a department, we should know who is in charge of running that department, and kind of like maybe the location of where it is. So if someone wanted to know where the fire department was, they could know where to go and who to talk to. So if they included that, that would be good. For document-wide criteria, every facility is included in the budget. So for example, they have the fire department. They include how many stations they have. They have 14. How many fire hydrants are throughout the city? 5,509. And then how many employees are working for that department? And that is 201. So including all that information, that just shows it's very detailed. It's very helpful to know these things, and it's very good that the city of Waco can go in depth and show all these different aspects of each facility. They also include a glossary. Like I said earlier, an average citizen, they probably would not understand most of these terms that, people like us that have taken a budgeting class know. So we know what a fund is. We know what a capital improvement project is, but not many people know. So including glossary with every word that people might not know, and having a definition of it is great, and it helps with words that have maybe been abbreviated. So that was very good. I had it at the end of the document, and it was very detailed. Moving on to the conclusion. So I did interview Laura Chioda, who was the budget manager. She was very helpful. She told me everything I needed to know. She answered all of my questions, and I appreciated it. She told me that the health of the city of Waco is in very good condition. So that just shows that the city of Waco is on the right track. They've been on the right track, and they're doing really well. And they want to make sure that they have all the right funds and all the right equipment and things to make sure that the city of Waco is running well and that their citizens are happy. So with that being said, the city of Waco does meet all the criteria of the GFOA's Distinguished Budget Award, and their health is fantastic. So thank you, class, for watching this presentation. Please, give me some comments and some feedback. That would be awesome. And I really enjoyed going through this class with you guys, and I hope that you guys do well throughout the MPA program, and you're going to make it. Bye.